Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to day 6 of the TPL, the finale. We got some new faces. It's your boy T-Van, joined by the wonderful Bianca, and we got a banger on our hands here. We got the Unks versus Outlast Black, a banger of a game in my opinion. And Bianca, I think we should just go right into the rosters and see who we got facing off against each other.
Yes, it's already late enough. Damn, what are these?
Holy shit.
These photos are. Looks like on the Unks, we're gonna have Engage, Dead, Ions, Bless, and Zolaris. Ions looks like the only normal one. The rest, everybody's got their own little. Who did that pose first? Is that like the Kobe Legs pose? I feel like I saw him do something like that one time, long time ago. Anyways, I digress. That's the roster for the Unks.
I go Ions.
He's the only one that's not doing a pose, and I swear
it's the gamer esport pose. I swear to God, everyone always has their arms folded. I mean, luckily some of them actually got some arms, but let's see how normal Outlast Black is. I did hear about some potential Photoshop happening over here. Just kidding, not really a lot. We got Dexy, we got Brayden, we got Jagorku, we got Butcher, we got Stocky. The gang is all here on the Outlast Black. And I don't know about you, Bianca, but I'm ready to see what arena they're going to be facing off in today in this best of 3.
Me too. That's my favorite part of the intro. Let's take a look at where we're going first. Drum roll. Wait. Oh, yeah. Oh, he said they're wrong. I was going to say, Clubhouse, that's really boring. I hope that we don't go on to Clubhouse. I feel like I've changed.
What a great pre-show.
It's already late too,
dude.
Guys.
We're
work tomorrow. I feel bad.
I do. I personally do.
Me too as well. But I mean, at the same time, like nobody's being forced to watch, so they can go to bed whenever they want. But for us, we're gonna be here for
Matt has a gun to my head.
These exciting games. Matt has a gun to both of our heads. We're gonna be going to Chalet first. Seems like the boys on Outlast Black are actually going to be attacking first, despite it not being their map pick, which is very interesting. And then Club will be the second map, and then the decider would be on Consulate, which I bloody hate Consulate. I hate playing that map. I'm so awful at it. So we'll see if these boys are a little bit better at playing Club than me.
Yeah, I mean, a pretty stock standard BO3 here. Kind of like what you were saying previously of, just Clubhouse being a little bit boring. Chalet, some might argue, is boring. I would say that these are the 2 default maps right now in the pool of Chalet and Clubhouse, and I think Consulate is decently similar to these 2 maps. It's just a little bit more vertical, and it requires a lot more teamwork and IGLing to have happen. There's a lot of space to have to clear before you can even look at the site, especially when you're taking a basement. I mean, we've seen mutes hold all of second floor by themselves for about 2 minutes and then finally hit the basement. But, that's hopefully not going to happen as we're all tired. Me, personally, I would like to see it as a caster, but also, we'll focus on the Chalet for now. What do you think?
I agree. I think I'm thinking the exact same thing. Everything, all those types of things, always exciting, especially being casters, even going the full 3 maps. Hey, some people hate playing 3 maps, but let me tell you, I love casting 3 maps. If I have the energy for 3 maps, nothing makes me happier than seeing a really good 3 map series. So any sort of funky strategies, anything where there's it's high intensity, I love watching it. And of course, the viewers love watching it as well. So at least we all share that in common as casters and people who are also simultaneously watching with us. The only difference is that we're talking for them to watch. As them, they might just be sitting in silence in their room in a corner watching on their phone or maybe on their laptop. That's what I be doing sometimes. I just be all alone in my room watching. They can put it on the TV
too. If they're like that, they can have it on the TV, like a smart TV, like a Roku or something.
Dude, I need one of those so bad. I need one of the. I have Crunchyroll and it's linked onto my PlayStation. I can watch it. When I play PlayStation, it's played on a TV mounted on a wall. So when I'm watching Crunchyroll, I watch on the big screen. Man, it is life changing.
That is.
It is life changing.
Gotta get an Amazon Fire Stick. Have you heard of that? They're like $20. If your TV has a USB, you just
Amazon,
or HDMI. Yeah, I know, but
I'm anti-Amazon these days.
I agree, but also, rent is due. I don't have enough money for a whole Apple TV. You know what I mean? I don't got that money. I don't got that kind of money. And I don't think either of these. Well, I shouldn't assume their paychecks, but Unks and Outlast, they're fighting for a paycheck here as well. um, as we are hopefully going into
A
Chalet.
quarter of a paycheck?
Uh,
I wonder what the I don't know, is it even a quarter of a paycheck?
bro, I mean, it
That's no
depends.
diss. That's no
I,
diss.
I mean, from the pictures that we saw from the Unks, I mean, they're probably all like 6-figure, 7-figure jobs.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
yacht
What about
club.
Outlast? What do they look like?
No
Do
comment.
they look
They
like
look probably 6-figure, 7-figure job, yacht club.
Don't kill me. Don't
That was
kill
mean.
me.
I like the guys of Outlast Black. Jorgoku's
So
my
do I.
goat.
You know what? I know George. I was gonna say
Oh,
I love George Goku. I when I went to the Montreal Major, he was there. Oh my God, what a sweet guy. What a sweet boy, man. Really. A lot of the people that I met there were super kind and sweet, but George Goku's super nice. I'm excited to watch them. I didn't know that he played on Outlast Black.
yeah, he's been looking good. He looked really good in the qualifiers, and so far in the group stage, Outlast Black has been making a pretty decent run so far. Um, I'm curious to see how they perform on Chalet today, just due to the fact that we've been seeing Chalet just like swip swap bing bong over and over. Sometimes it's really defender side, sometimes it's really attacker sided. Um, and I'm excited to see what these two teams actually bring to the table as we're finally getting into the first round. Like you said previously, Outlast Black did decide to start on the attacking side.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what do you think this like what do you think the science behind that is? Why do you think that they did that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like in TPL or TPL X XGS, the finale so far, we've been seeing Chalet lean a little bit more attacking side. I would consider it a 3-3 map. But also, like, Reload is making me feel a little bit different just because Chalet just looks so heavy defense, especially with teams like CAG really showing off a really defensive side of Chalet. I wonder it could potentially be just momentum based of, we can lose some rounds early and then just go onto the attack or the defending side and just rinse from there, and then we'll see. I don't know, there might be some crazy tech that I don't know, Bianca.
Well, speaking of some crazy tech, something that's not too crazy is these bands coming out. Blitz, yeah, makes sense. Ying is also taking off. Another, I mean, not as frequent as she was before, but still a decently frequent attacking operator to get off. Valk will be the first defender. I'm wanting to see if if the Unks are gonna ban Azami or if they're gonna opt for somebody like a Tubarão, a Mira. Azami will be the one to be taken off. I guess they haven't really put her in their defensive strategy, and they figure it's better to play without her than with her.
Yeah, especially if you're starting on the defense, having to deal with a team that might be more prepared with the Azami. It makes sense. The blitz ban as well, just being able to level the playing field a little bit. And if these are it's kind of annoying having to play against a team that has made strats around Azami. And if you haven't been scrimming against a team like that, or don't have the or even just like not even like mentally, like, sometimes you just have like a mental block against like a certain strat that you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna ban it. It's just no point. There's a lot of people that have mental blocks against maps. I know that there's a lot of teams that have mental blocks against operators, especially Azami. I know the team that I play with a decent amount, my collegiate team, they I mean, I don't play for them, but I play comp, or not comp, I play ranked with them a decent amount, and they're always banning Azami. And because they don't play it in scrims, they don't play it on comp day, and they don't even play it in ranked. And the Unks,
Yeah,
it might
because
be the same.
it's more than likely because Azami has such a high ban rate that a lot of teams decide, you know what, it's better just to form a defensive strategy without her, because the chances of actually having a strategy that will actually use her is so slim because the fact that she's banned 9 times out of 10. I would even say, like, I don't even know, maybe 98 times out of 100. So even more, 9.8 out of 10. She's banned. So anyways, moving forward already at about half a minute into the round, nothing crazy happening yet, but we are going to be going to the kitchen site first. Outlast Black have found it. We'll see what they plan to do with it. Having the mirror there, the tuba now, and the Kaid. I like those defensive bans. It seems like we see something good. Those are typically operators that get banned, so having them played will be interesting. Along with that, of course, having this top 4 hold, as Outlast Black are going to make their way into Solar. Butcher will be the first one to die, and it seems like 3 already taken out.
Well, Rage Monster's going to bring back a little bit in this round as he is the last remaining member to make this assault. Well, I eat my words. There's a Nitro from beneath his feet. Ray's now 1v4. Seen it happen. As a DMR, but also with a minute 40, there's enough time for the Unks to, there's 2 C4s, potentially 1 thrown out from Highway. Oh my god. Wait.
Well, that got me. That kind of made me go a little jump back a little bit. At the very least, from a 1v4 to a 1v3, he's got bear time. He's got about a minute 20 remaining on the board. Doesn't matter, though. I guess Zolaris is just like that on the Vector. And somebody's going to clean him out through the smoke.
Yeah.
He's got some crazy eyesight, got some crazy glasses. He's wearing the Warden glasses without even having to be Warden. Unks will take their first defensive round.
Yeah, OUTLAST Black going all in on a solar side attack. The Blackbeard going in by himself into Bathroom and actually hitting a Frost Mine, as well as the 2 members supporting that push, just being mowed down through the rappel windows. OUTLAST Black it seemed like they had an idea and then just completely got stopped. It really was just the Unks shutting them down. And I don't think OUTLAST Black really did a good job of droning. They had some Twitch drones towards the first floor. I wonder if they just saw a gap closer to the solar side and blue side and wanted to take over second floor from there, but they just didn't expect a player like Big Matt up there and Zolaris and the Frost Mats. They just didn't look underneath themselves, and GG.
I mean, that's a pretty big oversight, though. Like you said, I mean, they made their way in through those windows. If you had droned out even anything more than solar, I mean, there's head holes there, too. It's not like it was, a blank wall or a reinforced wall. There were head holes there. The least you can do is drone, because having 3 of your 5 operators, players die within the first minute of the round is not, it's not looking too good, especially as just overall as a team. You are starting on the offense as well. That's kind of the bad foot, but regardless, if you're going to choose to pick the offense, that is not a strategy that I would ever want to see.
Oh my god, Big Matt. I was going to say, holding off K9, and, he just swings out, gets the rappel audio, and does a beautiful job getting a first headshot onto Butcher. And then Braze gets eaten up by a Nitro Cell. That's 2 Nitro Cells kills so far already in Chalet, Bianca, and it's only been 2 rounds. OUTLAST Black, they were bringing to this round a little bit of an idea, but, so far it just feels a little default. They just are kind of playing their extremities, trying to see what the gaps of the Unks are, and they're getting shut down. Sure, they have this logic bomb that they're going to send out, but they don't really have a lot of space to work with, and with it being this first floor hold, it's going to be really awkward for them to actually find some sort of footstep into this site.
Mind you, they don't even have a hold of bomb right now. They're going to have to go fishing for bomb. Whether or not it's going to be hard for them is a different story. If there's going to be 2 people up on that top floor, it's going to be the Fenrir and the Warden. I'm sure that they're aware that they do also have a hold of bomb, so 2 operators dying, one of them having the bomb on them it's not looking good, and it seems to me extremely sloppy and messy. Having a little bit of this blue stairs pressure isn't also going to be too good either. Jog is going to get taken down by Zolaris, and it's going to be a 1v5. At the very least, it's not going to be a flawless, as Dex is going to take down Mr. Matt, but in a 1v4, now making it a 1v3, there's a potential for a possible comeback. He could try and grab the bomb, but there's a minute remaining. Doesn't matter, a 3-piece is looking for his ace. Just under a minute now. He's got to be very careful. Any wrong move could spell disaster. That's going to be 1C4 gone, and unfortunately, Dexy, a valiant effort. It's all in vain. Yet again, it will be Zolaris to get that final kill. The Vector, it seems like he's the connoisseur when it comes to the Vector, and so the second round will yet again go to the Unks.
It's interesting that, putting into perspective the fact that OUTLAST Black did choose the attacking side to begin with, because so far in this map, I have not been shown why. It's these attacks have been a little sloppy, maybe even not fully set up, and they're being punished so heavily by a team that has decent comp experience like the Unks. These players know how to play Chalet, like we said previously in our very fast pre-show, Bianca. Chalet is a default map. Everyone has a Chalet. This is not like a skyscraper or a layer where you can just perma-ban it. Like, you gotta play Chalet. And Outlast Black is kind of just fumbling with the way that they're attacking. I don't know if they're not used to attacking these first floor sites, but they don't really have a firm objective going into the round, and they're not playing off of each other. Potentially this round, seeing that they're playing Glaz, Sense, and Capital, they're going to be bringing a little bit more of a firm win condition of just get the QB sneak plant in and just play off of the Glaz post plant. And I think this will be the first time that Outlast has a firm plan going into a round that all 5 of them are attached to.
Yeah, I say this a lot, and we haven't cast in a while, but you know, the audacity and the nerve that a team has to pick a map, or even picking a specific side, either defense or offense. I mean, if you're gonna start on the back foot like this, you'd expect something crazy, but you know, like I said, it comes off as extremely sloppy. And not only that, but this is Unk's map pick. Defense is always kind of more has that little advantage. So giving the Unks defense first on their map pick, it's interesting to say the least, especially considering how poor Outlast Black has been performing these last 2 rounds. But it's only the first 2 rounds. We're into the 3rd one now in a minute. Into the round, I should say. And nothing crazy has happened. As I say that, at the very least, Ions will get taken out by Mr. Dexy. He's on Glass. Very interesting. He's also going to take a boatload of damage, but not enough to take him out. And a C4 nearly taking out Goku, but it won't. Still a 4v5.
That would have been a huge kill too, because that would have been the Sens off the board. Kind of their like crucial operator in this attack, as they're going to be trying to go from big window and use the Sens walls to cut off any of the office side and library side of Chalet and just hold fully from Solar. We see the outlines of Outlast just holding from Solar side on the windows, ready to clear out Dead, who really does just need to be cleared out here. They need to rotate someone to highway and get someone into bathroom and flood this player, because if he just holds on to this power position, Outlast Black's attack is not going to be even possible, as he finds Rage Monster, and that's going to slow them down even more.
A beautiful pick, and not only that, but Zolaris is going to find another one, and oh my gosh! Seems like the Unks are absolutely on fire. They're winning their ones. Not even, despite having Ions get taken out extremely early on into the round, they've been able to maintain the team composure and actually bring it to a 4v1. From a 4v5 to a 4v1, it's going to be Jog left in a 1v4. Dead is almost dead like his name, but, I mean, we'll see for how long. Fortunately, he's going to win out this round, and by the skin of his teeth. Not only that, but the rest of his teammates are also going to win out this round, and that's 3-0. The Unks up 3 rounds. Outlast Black, why did pick attack? I mean, they're gonna have to go on attack anyways. If they pick defense, doesn't matter, but you're giving your opponent such an advantage in a way, knowing that if this is a map that they picked, surely they're strong in it, or at least strong enough. They believe that they're better than you, you know, to the point where they would pick this map, you know, with the thought in mind that we are going to beat Outlast Black. And you're making it quite easy for them to make their dreams a reality, especially giving them that defense first. It doesn't really, it's not boding well for them.
Not boding well at all. Especially when the Unks are well known for, like, trash talk and all chat as well. You're just giving them fuel for the fire. We saw already in chat, even players like Ions who died immediately. Actually, one of the only kills that Outlast Black have gotten outside of a 1vx was even trash talking. And, you know, we all know Ions. He's a silly goofer. And you can't really let a man that dies immediately in the round start talking trash. You got to show back up.
They did not let that slide.
I mean, it really.
They did not let that slide.
Like, it really is just like, it's just salt in the wound, you know, especially when, you know, 2 of your attackers, I don't want to be that guy, but 2 of your attackers have some donuts. You got to start bringing some stuff up. And so luckily the Unks are going to bring us to the basement. Unks are actually giving us a world tour, Bianca. They've now hit all 4 sites, even though they didn't have to. They could have just reset on this quarter. But no, they wanna go for a basement hold. Just keep Outlast Black on their toes. And honestly, a smart idea, is Outlast Black have been quite dizzy going into these attacking rounds.
That's one of the things that I love about Chalet. Same thing with Cafe, is typically, especially in a series, we will, or not a series, but an entire map, we will end up seeing the full, you know, 4 site rotation. Not in one go, but typically we'll at least see all 4 sites played through the game. Regardless, Zolaris is going to take down Mr. Jog. He's 0-4, a pretty pivotal operator too. Capitan, great for, closing off certain areas and blocking lines of sight. Unfortunately, he's going to get taken down quite early. However, there's still about a minute and a half remaining in the round. However, at the rate that Outlast Black is moving right now, it doesn't really seem like they're going to be able to bounce back, at least from what we've seen these last 3 rounds. Even with a man advantage, they cannot hold it. And, already being down 1, it doesn't rub me the right way.
Well, look at their attack right now. They just seem so clueless about how they can actually hit the basement. It almost seems like they thought the site was on the first floor. They're just now locating the bombs, meaning that they just now have a drone or somebody having a visual of the basement. And they brought a Ram who no longer has utility to really make any use of this bomb site. And like you said, Capital was lost. Their only utility to drop down and make a gunfight happen is Zofia stuns. And there's Zofia stuns. Big Matt, though, somehow being knocked down, I believe, from a Claymore. But still, Outlast Black just doesn't really have any sort of foothold in this round. They don't have an angle. It looks like they're going to set up for more of a big garage side take into Trench, but it's going to be shut down.
Well, there you go. There's going to be Mr. Matt who's going to get taken down after being DBNO'd. And so we're back to a 4v4 situation. However, you notice, I hope that Outlast Black are good at that late game because it's 20 seconds. That's going to be a 2-piece from Mr. Butcher. He takes down Zolaris through the wall. A nice pick to lead them with an advantage. However, are they going to be able to close out this round? It's 10 seconds, and there goes their diffuser. That's going to be bombed down, and up 1 man, make it 2 men. Not only that, but there's no bomb to plant. Everybody dies in the late game. Still, to be going in the favor of the Unks. Is there anything they can't do? These boys, they get first pick, they still come back. They get the first pick and they maintain that hold. They have that man disadvantage for a portion of time and they're able to bounce back and not only capitalize and equalize it out, but turn it into an advantage for them. Outlast Black look sloppy, and I'm not sure if it's because it's too late at night. Maybe they're like, you know what? Maybe we're done, man. We just want to go to bed, but it is disappointing. I don't know if I should be happy because I do have work tomorrow like you. And so, we'll go to bed a little bit earlier, but I'm also disappointed because I'm familiar, and I'm sure you're familiar with these players as well on Outlast Black. This is a performance that I would have never expected. I feel like I'm watching them play rank.
Yeah, I completely agree. It just doesn't feel like communications are really happening on Outlast Black's side. And I don't want to keep harping on their failures, but to be honest, the last couple defensive rounds, the Unks haven't really felt any real pressure going into the attacking rounds and going into the late round. That last round, Outlast Black was so comfortable in the late round. Yeah, 30 seconds remaining, sure, you're gonna, you have some decent space for his trench, but they still had Goyos to play around. They still had Ions, who was fully floating in the top side, and now Outlast is already down their Ram immediately into the round, and they might just be facing a 5-0, potentially a 6-0 loss here, Bianca.
Yeah, on split. And I mean, like I said, if you want to, get the hard part out of the way first, you want to go offense first, by all means. But I always say this, if you're gonna, if you're gonna pick a map or you're gonna pick a side, and that's a C4 that just got took to the face. You just took that C4 to the face to grab my cup. Oh my goodness, that was scary, and I mean, I'm sure his face is blown off now, but anyways, I always say this, if you're gonna pick a map or you pick a side, at the very least, you should go 4-2. Mind you, this is Unk's map pick. So they're in great standing right now because not only that, but they have the potential to leave split at even better than just 4-2. As for Outlast Black, they picked the harder, the harder way to go. They picked the offense first, but they're also down 4 rounds and there's only 6 until split, which, well, now you basically have to win out these next 2 rounds flawlessly if you want to leave it at a kind of optimal position. Regardless, there's also your fuser gone. Dead is going to kill off Mr. Braids. And it's a 4v2. Not looking too good for Outlast.
No, not at all. I mean, This is actually quite impressive to watch from the Unks too, because the only time that we've really seen them so far in this tournament was just their one game against Jinxie, right? Jinxie's Loyals, and they did not really show up quite well. I mean, to be honest, the maps felt a little bit more competitive than I maybe am making it seem, and what the record of a 2-0 makes it seem. But I'm glad to see that the players of Unks are really stepping up and showing off their genuine skill that they have. Like you said, though, this is their map, but when the second map is Clubhouse, that's not, again, not like a special map. Like, every team has a Clubhouse. Sure, there's going to be some teams that are better at it than others, but it just seems like the Unks have really shown up and came to play, and Outlast Black, they haven't really found a clue on how to attack so far as a team. Everything feels disjointed. Everything doesn't feel like they have a checklist of what they really want. I mean, there's even some times where the Ram is ramming things that they don't even play off of the entire round. It's just, it feels clueless. It feels like, I mean, if I were their coach, I would be calling a timeout and telling my players, hey guys, like, lock in, talk to each other, drone. You need to be droning more. Make a plan with each other. And I'd probably, like, isolate the IGL and tell them, like, you got to start making plans or else we are going to crumble and we are going to lose the Chalet 7-0.
I mean, it just feels like they don't care. In the most blatant way possible, it feels like they don't care. And like I said, maybe it's too late for them. Maybe they've already clocked out. Maybe, you know, their mind is in other places, but yeah, it doesn't look good. I feel like even as myself, like I would never want to put, like, I always want to put my best foot forward. I always want to try my best. And I'm not sure if, you know, if Outlast Black are truly trying their best, I'm sorry to say this, but it really doesn't feel that way. And the Unks just seem to have everything better. And the funny thing is the Unks aren't doing anything like mind-blowing. It's
Right.
not like they're coming out with crazy strategies. It's literally just mechanics and fundamentals. They are going the basic lineups, or, you know, the run-of-the-mill, very typical operator lineup, same strategies. They're not doing anything innovative. It's literally just coming down to mechanics. Mind you, as I'm, you know, hating on Outlast Black, they are up 2-man. So at the very least, this could be a potential to win out their final round before they go on the defense. And looks like they're locking in. Mr. Ions is going to be up here in library. He's going to be a little bit careful. This window, he's got some unwanted visitors.
No
He
way.
runs out on them though, and Chog, unfortunately, saw that drone come out, and he took the opportunity. 2v4 now.
He sees the long arm of Jorgorku tossing the drone, and he picks up a second kill, finding Butcher. Yeah, Outlast Black got a great man advantage, but it didn't mean space. They were just killing the players of the exteriors of Unks, and now the real players of Unks have come to play, evening it up to a 2v2, but they have to retake some blue stairs control, and that's what Ions is looking to do. Mind you, the site is first floor, so they do have some time to reset. A minute remaining. Braze has a drone in his pocket, as well as another Kludge drone to play off of, get some intel on Ions and Zolaris, and hopefully make a plan. Rage Monster and Braze so far are really disconnected from each other, one playing main door and the other in library.
This is, I can't believe that. From a 2v5 to a 2v2, Ions and Zolaris absolutely doing amazing. Can thank Ions for 2 of those kills, and Zolaris got another one. And Ions nearly dies. He's not going to be out just yet. Not only that, but Zolaris is going to take out Rage Monster. It's a 1v1 situation. Zolaris versus Braze right now with 25 seconds. And can you believe it? The Unks with a 2v5, a 3-man disadvantage. Doesn't matter. Ions and Zolaris absolutely win it out to close out the 6th and final round before split to make it 6-0. We're on match point. And how long has it been? It's been, what, 20 minutes? Are we serious?
Dude, I mean, that is a mental chalk if I've ever seen one. That is a hard round to lose. And, I mean, if Outlast Black's strat of picking attacking first was so that they could have, you know, the defense side for themselves to be able to come back and get that momentum back in them and get the momentum going into map 2, having a 6-0 and losing a 2v5 like that will make this defense nearly impossible. This is what is going to be make or break for most teams of, are you mentally prepared to be shut down so hard by a team like the Unks? and bounce back and win some defensive rounds and go the distance. Outlast Black now have to win 8 rounds in a row, not dropping a single one in regulation. 8 rounds in a row to be able to make this Chalet theirs. That is quite the hill for Sisyphus, and I mean, Bianca, you have to imagine that Sisyphus is happy, and I guess we have to just tell ourselves that Outlast Black maybe chose this for a reason. I don't know how else to put it.
I mean, this is not Skyscraper. I don't think I've ever seen, unless the two teams were genuinely so mechanically, like the gap between the skill was so wide that this might happen. But this is, this is a score that is typical of Skyscraper. Not even then is Skyscraper like this anymore.
Yeah.
You don't really see that split on skill. Back before, seeing a 6-0, 5-1 split on Sky was normal, but you don't even see that these days. But we're seeing a 6-0 on Chalet, a fundamental map that every team knows. This is, like you said, this is not a special map. Neither is Clubhouse. Every team plays this. You are not special for picking this map. So you got to pick this map knowing exactly what you're doing. And the Unks, they had a great defensive strategy, but I will say it was literally basic stuff.
Yeah.
Outlast Black just seemed to be getting outclassed mechanically when it comes to aim. It's not even that the Unks are like doing something crazy. They're just playing the game. Their Outlast Black just doesn't really seem to be up to par with, the mechanical skills of the Unks, which is crazy.
Yeah, well,
But
and even to throw a stat at you, Bianca, to even further your point, Chalet is the most played map that we have seen in the group stage of the finale so far, and has a very near 50-50 split of defensive and attacking wins. It is at 57% attacking wins, actually. 57% attacking wins. That statistic is going to be so skewed after this map.
Oh, God. Oh, Outlast Black are beating the odds, but not in the way that they should. Are you? Oh my God, this is not what we meant.
Oh,
Like, when people are like, you gotta go against everybody. You gotta, do your own thing, and you'll end up, rising above everybody else. Set yourself apart from everybody else. Outlast Black, this is not what we were talking about. When people are saying set yourself apart, they did not mean to go down 6-0 on attack when the attack win percentage is 57%. Oh my goodness. All right, man. Anyways, ball still not open yet. Not a lot of, territory, my bad, being made. 30 seconds, however, the Unks are gonna have to make their way in through. They're taking it nice and slow, but I mean, is it really going to be worth it in the long run now that they've really had a crunch for time? It is a 4v4, however, but we'll see how this continues to go. At the very least, Diffuser is going to be in the hands of the boys on the Unks, but are they aware that Mr. Dexy is over by the corner? They launch a grenade, but I don't think that they know that he's behind this shelf. There goes Solaris, and it's going to be a 3v4 of 5 seconds remaining. People are flashed and blinded. Can you believe that? A 2v2? They're going to have to get this bomb down. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. And for the very first time, Outlast Black win out a round so narrowly. Honestly, I wonder, was it the fact that Outlast Black won, or the Unks just took way too... I don't even know what the Unks are waiting for, but 20 seconds to execute.
Well,
is everybody's attack just best?
Their whole play, their whole game plan... Okay, one thing about the Unks is at least I could see the vision. They had the Ram playing on Connector Hatch, and they had 2 players on Fireplace Stairs ready to flood the site. However, the Unks forgot the fact that Outlast Black had Zoto canisters in their pocket. They took about 2 minutes, a minute and a half, to get the Kaid trick off the board. Once that was finally done, they still had all Zoto canisters from Tuber out to work with, which completely shut down the main breach, which was the crux of their play. If they didn't get that main breach open as a third point of attack of one-sided flood, then, you saw exactly what just happened. It was just people walking down the stairs and getting pistol whipped by Outlast, as well as a one-man drop into Hatch, which is right into the arms of Jiroku. There were just angles that they didn't clear, and they were hoping to clear with thermite smokes, but they just couldn't get that wall open. And it makes me feel like I'm like, I don't know. It reminded me of like old Chalet Siege, where like all you did was open that breach, and then like everyone would like sit outside and like keep peeking each other. Like they just didn't explore anywhere else in the map, and it bit them in the butt.
And I mean, having somebody behind that shelf is so basic. You're like that. I can't believe
Hey, you ain't special,
nobody
bro.
really accounted for that. I know. Really though, it's so true. Like that happens all the time. But anyways, guess it doesn't matter. Verlies, Outlast Black aren't gonna get fully sweep. It's not gonna be a full 7-0. They do secure something, so it won't be a flawless, but score's still not that, not that desirable. However, Ion's already making his way. He's gonna be in the basement. Seems like he's gonna be by himself as well. He's gonna be the first one inside of the actual building itself, and he's already made his way up the first floor. I'm surprised that nobody's gonna be kind of with him, but maybe that's the plan. He's a stealthy boy, and a stealthy boy he is. He's gonna take down Mr. Rage Monster, giving his team a one-man advantage. Actually, a two-man advantage, as Dez is gonna find himself as well.
Do they know about Braze still playing first floor? Ions was that player to clear out the first floor members. I was expecting his target to be Braze, but it's actually going to be Rage Monster, and instead, the rest of the members of Outlast Black are going to die. It's connected, man. Did I just hear? Is it just me? Is it you? Okay.
Yo, I wasn't.
Cheers.
Cheers. I love that.
Cheers.
Oh my god. I'm like, I wonder if it's me. Let me just.
I don't even know who it was. But hey, you know what? Outlast Black, they crumble on the second floor. They crumble on the first floor. They had a great, they had a decent plan there, but like we've said previously, Unks just brought it better. And they just took over completely and just played default, played mechanics well, and won all their gunfights, Bianca.
Yeah, I mean, that's, like I said, the Unks didn't do anything crazy. They literally played Siege the way that it's meant to be played. They did the strategies that were typical, that work. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's what they did. And, hey, they did it quite well, as any team should. And not just that, but like we said, they were winning their ones. A lot of times, especially on fundamental maps like Chalet, like Club, like we said, you're not special for knowing how to play these maps. Everybody does. What sets you apart is being able to, make plays, get a little bit innovative, and be able to, have that edge when it comes to aim and mechanics, being able to outplay and outclass your opponents. That is what the Unks did. And Outlast Black fell extremely short. I hope that Clubhouse will be a little bit different, considering that it is going to be their map pick. But we'll have to wait a little bit, 5 minutes-ish. Go use the washroom, go get yourself a snack, and we'll be back in about 5 to see you guys for map 2, which will be on Club.
to. Oh my god. I thought you're I'm being trolled right now,
thought there
bro.
was gonna
Get
be
me
a
out. I thought we were getting transition, Bianca. Dude, get me out, bro.
Oh my
Get me
dude.
out.
Okay, like he just says, okay, replays are coming in. I was like, what? And then he said, okay, 3, 2, 1. Like, hello? I've not seen my face before. How do I
We're
know
just
that
high
they can hear
production.
me?
We're just high production here, Bianca. Welcome back to TPL XGS, the finale. As you just saw on your screen with those replays, it was a bloodbath of a chalet. The Unks winning 7-1 over Outlast Black. And now we're being sent to Outlast Black's map pick of Clubhouse. It is going to be a best of 3 here with the consulate being the decider if we do end up being into a map 3. But Bianca, we got to focus. We got to lock in on Clubhouse. How are we feeling about this map?
Actually, I think Outlast Black need to lock in on Clubhouse. I hope that this will be a kind of redemption for them because if you guys missed out on map 1, well, you didn't miss out on much. You missed out on 8 rounds of teams playing ranked. It was not the most exciting. The Hunks did a great job, though. I will not lie. Hopefully, Outlast Black will, at the very least, if they do lose again, I hope that they lose a little bit more fashionably than they did last map. But there's no margin for error anymore. Hopefully, they'll be able to lock in, considering that this is going to be their map pick. However, unlike themselves, the Unks choose to have Outlast Black attack first. Last map, Outlast Black chose for the Unks to defend first, which typically doesn't happen. So it's very interesting. First lady off the board, though, is going to be Hibana, followed by a Capitan. No shields off. A Monty is free range, a Blitz is free range, a BB is free range. Can you believe that?
I can't, Bianca. I cannot. I also can't believe that last time Unks played on this map, they lost 7-1 against Jinxie's Loyals. Which is starting to be a trend as I continue to look through the history of these two teams, as both of them have just got stomped by Jinxie's Loyals in one map. But the Unks seem to be, you know, it's like the circle of like, usually you see the circle of, okay, there's one really good team, but then there's one team that can beat that team. And so whoever can beat the team that can beat the best team is obviously the best team, right? That's just how it works.
That's how it goes.
But it seems like Unks and Outlast Black are kind of, maybe Unks are just, are like, they're fighting for second. Maybe. I mean, obviously, Card
like
& Co.
is
is
second
a
rate,
team
and maybe
that
Outlast is like third rate.
Something like
in a nice
that.
way.
Yeah, like or you can think of like, if we want to bring it back to the video game that we see on our screen of Rainbow Six Siege, you know, Jinxie Loyals in the TPL division are like the primary site of a map, and Outlast Black and the Unks are currently fighting for the secondary site, and the other team
I feel like
is the
Outlast
tertiary
Black
site.
just played like the quaternary site.
I feel like Outlast Black played a different map that isn't even the competitive pool. we just saw them play on presidential plane.
Yo, I thought I hit it with the quaternary. You done said they played a whole different map, bro. That got me. Anyways, speaking of different maps, we're on a different map. This time, last map was Chalet. Almost forgot Chalet. This time.
It went
My
by
brain
fast.
is so discombobulated.
It did go by fast, so.
It did, honestly.
blame
It's
you.
almost like it didn't happen at all. But we might just see something early on. No, we will not. Dead. Running away, just about evading death. And somebody might have also just narrowly evaded death as well. No kills coming out on the board just yet, which, I mean, if we were on the first map, I'm sure somebody on Outlast Black would have already died by now. But luckily, nobody's dead just yet.
You know, they say 10% more every day, and it seems that 10% is being shown by surviving the first 30 seconds. Ions did say in all chat, we're setting the tempo early, and it seems that tempo might be top red stairs as he's taking gunfight against Jorgorku. I do really love this Phantom Pressure, though, because he's paired with Dead on the Cav. Ions is going to fall off, and Dead is actually found.
So there's the...
But they wasted a whole time here, on a whole minute of time for the second floor just to be taken over. And so now the vert is going to be Outlast Blacks, but they won't have a lot of time to really work it, as well as the verticality that they do have is going to be Bucks, which are going to be a little awkward to find. And then they have to find these hatches with the can openers.
Well, Jog is also going to take down Mr. Big Matt BTB. I wonder what BTB stands for. By the barbs? By
Big,
the...
back to boys.
Big,
Oh,
thick
what? Huh?
bunda? Can I say bunda?
Bunda?
Big, thick bunda. Maybe that's what it means. I wonder if Matt's packing it out in the back of the horse. But anyways, Jog packing that heat. This is gonna take down Mr. Ion's with the switch, but Bless gonna get that quick refrag ski, so it's gonna be a 1v3 now. The Unks are actually going to be at the disadvantage. You would have never thought, honestly, if you had seen last map. But we'll see if LS are going to be able to maintain this. They do also have the diffuser in hand, and they've got basically full site control. Are they aware that there's going to be somebody on top of this blue hatch? Well, they will be now, as the impact is going to do some damage, but not enough. Butcher, the one to take him out. That hatch drop. Get caught out in the first round of map 2. It's going to go to Outlast Black.
Unks might have been playing with their food just a little bit too much, as they really just threw away a lot of kills. A BTB might also mean back-to-back deaths, as he did just immediately die with no trade. Big Matt didn't really... I think he was caught out towards bar as they were unlocking the billiards hatch. You know, we always forget about that hatch in the vert. We've all been there once or twice, Bianca, let's be honest. But yeah, the Unks just kind of threw away their round. They kind of forgot that the site was in the basement. Ions did do a good job of wasting some time towards the second floor, and then fell off and just survived and played the numbers. Dead, however, did not. He was dead. And once you lose Big Matt, who is supposed to be that late round insurance of having the smoke grenades to be able to fend off a shield like Braze, once that player just dies so early in the round, you kind of lose a lot of your win condition, and we saw Unks just kind of fall apart and have no more answers in a 3v5, especially when one of those 5 is a Montaigne.
Yeah, it might hurt, and not only that, but he's gonna be here again. Monty for the second time, having that Monty on the board. Monty's a great operator on this map, especially if you're gonna be taking, I mean, he's great for taking space, but especially on a map with, like, you know, something like a Raptor. Having that Raptor is even for, you know, on a map like Nighthaven Labs. Great for being able to move up there, you know, not very discreetly, but at the very least, you have this big shield, and in a tight spot, it's hard to really, you know, fight off against that Monty for making his way forward. So anyways, regardless, Jog, the first one to get taken out is going to be Mr. Ions with the shotgun. He's going to take him down. It's going to be a 5v4. 40 seconds into the round right now, and Unks having this advantage. We'll see if they're going to be able to maintain it. A C4 kill might also come out. Boys on Outlast Black are not careful, making their way in through server, through that CC.
I thought it was actually going to be a really big kill, because that's going to prevent any help from the Twitch drones of the bandit tricking, but it's actually a flood up top red. He finds one, but he's going to swiftly be taken down. Butcher takes a lot of damage, though. It's just going to be a one-dimensional attack as Big Matt once again falls to his knees. Going to be finished off by Butcher, and as the dust settles, it's a 3v3, Bianca, and the defense have a lot of space to fall back on.
We'll see. It is going to be a 3v3, like you said, and the Unks with that man advantage won't last too long, but it's okay. Still evened out playing field. Outlast Black also have the potential to bring it back in their favor. We'll see how long that will end up lasting. As right now, it looks like it's going to be a standstill. The Unks don't want to do too much. They're just going to continue to hold this out as much as they can as the round continues.
Rage Monster doing a good job of finding a secondary point of pressure against the defense, putting some grim mines from Jim. And it's just Braze and Butcher playing towards construction, but they have to single file go into the construction single door. They have to fight through a Mira that is going to be held from gold. Butcher afraid of Logi, but Braze is able to take up a lot of space. No one really to take up the space with him, however. Ions is going to be a point of contact. Braze finding one, going to be finding dead. It's going to be a 2v3 now. Ions still in a really crucial position and playing off the Malusis. Knows that Rage Monster is nearby. Super Shorty out, but the Mira is going to spot his little head. Braze and Butcher are low HP. This could be winnable for Zolaris, but the Grim of Outlast Black finds him, and an easy headshot there. The Unks not really finding any piece to the puzzle. Outlast Black, I thought, was in a bit of a pickle. Didn't really have the space to play through. They really just had construction and nothing else. They didn't play towards Jacuzzi, which you usually see as a default against a bedroom gym take, but they didn't really care. They got the main breach and they just went forward march, and Graham finding a great spot. I will say, I think that Ions might have been not really doing that. Could have done more in that round, as he was just tucked into Jim, tucked into the long part of 90, and didn't really try to find any openers. Didn't try to find the 2v3 frags, due to the fact that Monty was just pressuring a lot, and they just could not succumb to the pressure. But now we're going to the basement here. Bianca is being ganked right now. Sorry to use a MOBA term, but you know, you're gonna get me for a little bit as we are setting up for this basement hole. It looks like Unks this time around are going to be dedicating themselves to more second floor pressure as they did previously, but this time Dead is not going to be playing the Cav. It is going to be that Sentry, and they're going to have the Scopos, which I do actually prefer quite a bit compared to the Cav, Bianca, because, you know, if you get caught out, you don't just die. You can run away pretty easily.
Yeah, welcome back. I say welcome back, but I'm the one that needs to be welcome back. Anyways, Nexy welcomes back into the afterlife as Ions takes him out. I'm so sorry, I had to go MIA for a little bit, but I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back. You know, thank you for you know, manning the ship, for holding on to the wheel for me while I was doing my own thing. But anyways, I digress. A 5v4, an early advantage for the boys on the Unks. Let's see. Unfortunately, that's also going to be the Ingon. That can be a pretty good operator to execute with. And now she's gone. So Laris taking out Butcher, and oh my god, nearly gets taken out by Mr. Praise on top of the hatch. Bless gets taken out. It's going to be a 4v3, 2 minutes remaining. And there's already 3 players off the board. Still going to go for the boys Unks. And we'll see. Now, I was going to say how long they're able to maintain that lead. It won't be for long as Dead now finds himself dead. 3v3 situation. OUTLAST Black have finally evened up the score. They're playing a lot better on this map. I mean, is this Unk's map pick? Because
this is Unk's map pick. Or no, just kidding. It's OUTLAST Black's map. I'm wrong.
Okay. Last map was Unk's map pick. That makes sense that they won it quite nicely, and I guess OUTLAST Black are doing a great job on this map as well. But not without a little bit of trouble. Ion pick up the rage.
Low HPs for the set of OUTLAST Black as well. Jorgorku almost got taken out by Matt, who was playing in Gym. He was up there for so long, and now he's finally taken to his knees. Blitz is the final member, the final piece of the puzzle, and he finds one. He tries to flicks over to Ions, but not quite enough. Actually, it was Ions the one that lost the gunfight, but he's the one to talk shit in chat. But Unks finally find their first defensive round, and it felt like that was the first real round from the Unks. They actually played towards a proper win condition and played around each other's space quite well. And OUTLAST Black, I mean, they try to do a weird rush from Kitchen, but also it was a spawn peek that we might see from the replay. Actually, no, we just get the C4. Our replay option didn't actually care about the spawn peek.
I did see it. It was beautiful. As I just came back in from on the Mozzie as well, I believe so. Great job, Mr. Ions, or I believe it was Ions to get the kill. Was it?
Yeah.
My memory serves me correct. I hope.
My goat.
I hope I'm not wrong.
My king.
But anyways, it was Ions. Anyways, moving forward, we're gonna be up on that top floor. The CC and the cache is what we're looking at right now, which typically, I mean, we don't get to see this site too often unless the 2 defensive sites are one. Only having that basement one under their belt doesn't matter. They're not going to be going to Gym. They're going to be bringing us beautiful CC and cache. I love this site. It's amazing. And the setup having a mirror.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't typically get to see it a lot. But of course, hey, maybe the Unks will bring us something a little bit new to the table. It also seems like Zolaris is going to be the one sitting in CC. So I wonder if they've set up the mirrors in CC as well, or if it's off-site somewhere else.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they really care about the main breach either, which, you know, usually isn't super default for this site. But like you said, you know, the site has been going through some changes, as it used to be pretty popular, and now it's, like you said, the more of the tertiary site. Zolaris did put some early pressure towards bedroom Gym, and actually a drop from Logi is going to be where her grave is found. Butcher finding a great kill, and that's going to continue the swarm through construction. OUTLAST Black have a lot of space to work with, and the Unks don't really have a lot of utility to play with to be able to push them back. They've got the Goyle canisters, and they do have some toxic babes. And then we'll have the impact grenade from Ions to be able to prevent any further Selma breaches there. But Outlast Black now can just slow down the game, and this is their pace.
I'm very surprised. This seems like a completely different Outlast Black that's playing. They're playing a lot better. I like this, a lot more coordinated and together. And I mean, if you're gonna play like this on Clubhouse, why can't you play like this on Chalet? Even if it's not your map pick, it's still very typical maps. I'm surprised that they got ran through so fast on Chalet. But regardless, it's a different map, it's a different day, a different time. Still, they will maintain this advantage, but you know, if they take too long, if they're not able to capitalize on this man advantage that they have, it could end up, you know, turning sour. Right now, it seems like it's at a bit of a standstill as Outlast Black are kind of figuring out what they want to do and how they want to make their way in. And Ions will be the one to get the first pick for his team, and he's actually going to get the first 2 picks for his team. It's going to be against a Rage Monster. However, it's going to be evened out now, just under a minute remaining. And oh my God, that's going to be unfortunate. A TK and the Unks now on a 1v1. That is gonna do it. The boys on the Unks will close out this round. I mean, damn, everything just happened all at once. Ions getting really good picks. A frag grenade kill. It was a team kill. Unfortunate. Hey, it happens. Mistakes happen. But Unks equalizing score.
Yeah, I thought Outlast Black just had a perfect, easy attack there. You know, they had every defending member of the Unks except for 1, maybe 2 players, all pinched into one spot. They were all stuck in CC. And some Deimos frags were thrown, but they were not thrown in anywhere where they could be picked off of. It's actually Ions there. He was on a frag, and he runs out 180s the highway window and finds the Deimos. And then as the flood continues, it's just easy kills and easy kills for the Unks as Outlast Black. They didn't 3-2-1 that play. They didn't say, all right, we're going to flood at the same time. 3-2-1, go. It was just one after the other after the other. They allowed Unks to kind of squirm into the little space that they had. And that, to me, is where a struggle is really going to be shown of a team like Outlast Black, where they don't have the commitment and they don't have that teamwork and energy and synergy is the word I was really looking for, to be able to play that late round and the execute together. And that's kind of the difference between a team like Outlast Black versus the Unks.
Yeah, and it's a little bit troubling because teams will end up getting the first pick, and even so, having that man advantage, not really being able to do much with it. Having that man advantage is huge. You know, it can open up a lot of possibilities and a lot of space, especially knowing that you kind of have an expendable... I mean, they're not necessarily expendable, but you have at the very least an extra man that if, you know, you can rely on that if they die, it's not going to lead to a disadvantage. Which it's unfortunate that Outlast Black weren't really sure how they were supposed to continue to execute, even with having that early advantage. Regardless, though, as we just saw, Rage Monster is going to be sneaky. We'll see if he's going to be able to make any cheeky plays, as it is going to be tied out. Outlast Black looking for a bit of leeway, hopefully another round under their belt, but not before opening up this jacuzzi wall. As I was just speaking about Rage, he's also going to be making his way up the red stairs. They better be careful. Minute about 45. And we might just start to see some kills. One comes out, but the refrag is instant. A 4v3. The man advantage for the boys on the Unks will actually make it a 2-man.
Well,
and never mind, the round is over.
Advantage. It's going to be 0 players of the attacking side alive. Yeah. Outlast Black, just a really one-dimensional attack. They get a Maverick trick onto the Jacuzzi wall, but contests the wall immediately and forces Jorkoku to his knees. They didn't have any follow-up utility to attack that bathroom breach. And then, like you said, the sneak up of the Nook going up to Logi and pinching actually was just completely shut down because Matt was there to take him down. He didn't have any trigger discipline. He was watching the back of Dead and instead walked into the barrel of a Scorpion, and the rest of the flood from Outlast Black was just completely stumped because their main pinch player of the Nook was actually the primary engage, which made the whole attack just all crumble.
Yeah, that's, I mean, trying to push solo A, it could work in your favor. He was able to get those 2 kills. He would have made the absolute play. Unfortunately, that was the refrag, and then it ended up going to the Unk's favor. Hopefully we'll see a little bit of pushback from Outlast Black, because this is going to be the final round that they're going to be on attack in regulation. They do end up going OT, well, we'll see them on attack again, but until then, this is their last attacking round. We'll see if they're going to be able to, at the very least, leave the score at 3-3, which would be really nice, considering this is the Unks, no, sorry, not the Unks map. This is their map pick. It would be great, especially starting on attack, to have that 3-3 split. And of course, the Unks are looking for that 4th round. We'll see if they'll end up getting it, but as for right now, no early picks coming out. All we're going to have is a single shield. It's going to be the Monty making his way up rafters, which is, like I said, is very typical, but why are they pushing the top floor if the floor is on the basement? Why did he go up on the 2nd floor? Do we know why, Mr. T-Ven?
The other 2 times that they've played basement, they've always had the 2 roamers towards the top side. And they do have that once again. It was Bless and Big Matt, ETB, Big Thick, anyway. But also to continue being a numbers Nancy, as I was previously on the map. A 3-3 split would be the average of what Clubhouse has been so far in the group stage, as it is a 51% win rate on the defensive side. It is a 1-round difference, 29 attacking wins, 31 defensive wins. So, you know, numbers sometimes make sense if we're not talking about Chalet. Like you said, OUTLAST Black trying to roam clear and trying to clear out the 2nd floor and the 1st floor members. There's only 2 people of the Unks that are even on the site. Seems that they have given up the 2nd floor, but Ion's finding Rage Monster, the Grim out for the count. And it might be Bless finding another one. That's Butcher, the Twitch. They still do have the core 3 of the Buck, Ying, and Monty to play around, but Bianca, it still looks like a really rough round for OUTLAST Black to piece together.
Well, as you say that, they tie it up to a 3v3. They do still have that bomb in hand. And it looks like right now, everybody's basically going to be around each other, playing off of each other. Doesn't seem like they're going to be moving too far from each other, except for Mr. Brace, who is also actually outside, is not really working with anybody. As it seems like the only people that are going to be together is going to be Dexy and Jog. Hopefully they're going to meet up with the Monty and push through. Monty can face check everything while, you know, his teammates are going to have that little line of security to be able to look without having their full body exposed. Anyways, 30 seconds remaining in the round, and it seems like Braze actually is going to be moving in with Job. But are they aware that Ions is going to be right there, he's a big player right now in these last games. He's been doing great, and so has his team. Now as we move on to these final seconds, well, moves are going to have to start being made. Ying Candelas are going to be coming out, but are they going to be able to make any decisive blows? A 2v3 turns to a 1v3, the Unks. Now at a man disadvantage, Bomb is going to be going down, but Dexy is super, super low. A C4 Chuck won't do too much to the Monty. It's going to be a 1v3 4-point situation. Now, not too long, Dead is now found dead. I love that. I keep on saying that. And split at 3-3. You said it was the average, and it's quite nice. OUTLAST Black, as they're going to be leaving, you know, what you would assume would be the kind of less, or the not the least strongest, but the less strength. What's the word? The offense is not as strong as the defense. You get what I'm saying? It's not their strongest suit. Typically, defense is the strongest. So leaving split on a 3-3 on your map, now going to defense is the future is bright for OUTLAST Black.
The future is bright indeed. The Unks, though, I will say, as a counter-argument, I'll play devil's advocate a little bit. The Unks have been showing very good attacking sides. Obviously, we did just only see Chalet, but previously, as they've played Clubhouse, they have been making decent chunks and decent runs on their attacks. The
Unks really only attacked twice, though.
Hey.
On Chalet.
Hey. No, you know, I mean, like, in their previous games on Clubhouse. But yeah, they did only play 2 attacking rounds on Chalet, but they felt really together. You know, they felt consistent as a team. They, you know, like, they have a game plan, and they have a strat, and they go for it, right? And we're going to be seeing something very similar with just the way that their comp works. They're going to be playing off of Blackbeard and allowing players like Zolaris and Ions to be able to play default and find the extremity players. It's going to be a 3-man, or a 3-player unit together with Dead on the Blackbeard, and they're going to be taking up the space of OUTLAST Black pretty easily. I mean, honestly, they don't have any exterior players except for Rage Monster, who already flooded back to the basement. And so now, Unks, 30 seconds into the round, have all the control that they really need.
And this is the first time that we're seeing a BB. 2 maps. he hasn't been banned, and it'll be the Unks who will capitalize on the fact that he's available. Not only that, we're going to be seeing some of that vert. As for everybody else, seems like we're going to have Mr. Matt over by Garage, kind of being accompanied by Mr. Ions. We'll see what they're going to be able to do, if they're going to be able to make their way down together, if they're going to regroup with their teammates. But like we mentioned, just about 2 minutes remaining on the board, still a 5v5, but Bless is extremely hungry. He's waiting for his prey to just step into his line of fire. And if Bray's overextends a little bit too much, he might get caught in a bad situation. He's seeing dirt getting opened up. Not only that, but a little bit of vertical as well. The boys on Unks are aware of a lot of the positioning for the defenders on Outlast Black. See if they're going to be able to catch them with their pants down, or if they're going to get caught instead. Approach minute 20.
Yeah, I mean, again, so far, Outlast Black with their pants up, but Unks are trying to pants them a little bit, trying to find the angle, trying to find the gap. And so far, in my opinion, the gap is towards Blue and towards Secret. If they find the only member of Outlast that are playing towards Secret, which is going to be Rage Monster, that could be a really great pick, especially if they flood him with BB or just push him out and then be able to just sneak one player there, keep him there, and then relocate some of those members and reinforce an attack towards main. Instead, it's actually just going to be a main push. Nitro Cell is available for them. It's going to be thrown out. Forcing Dead to be 1 HP, and his only support is already dead. It is Blackbeard, as he mentioned, though, so he can't support himself if he finds a headshot, but it's that Dexy that finds the heady, and the rest of the Flood will fumble.
There we go, a 2v4 situation. The Unks are going to be in a two-man disadvantage, and that was a pretty fast way to end out that round. I will say, despite the Unks basically having that full top floor control, it doesn't seem like they were able to do much with it, or at least they were a little confused on where they should move in from. Having that little bit of space over by those bottom red stairs was a good start, but it seemed like they were just holding on to stuff for too long, and it just ended up not doing anything for them, you know, even with that early giveaway of that top control from Outlast, they were still able to basically hold and maintain site, which, hey, certain teams bunker down in sight and they get absolutely ran through. As for Outlast Black, they bunker down in sight, and it seems like it's smooth sailing. The Unks were a little bit confused on what they should do next.
I mean, that kind of is the problem with Basin of Clubhouse, is you need operators that allow you to get that initial push into the basement itself. You see a lot of teams start to explore things like Sens, but there's also just people that rock with smoke grenades to be able to drop into and be able to cut off different angles, or things like Ying, something that Outlast Black was showing off quite a bit. They didn't really have any utility to just press that go button and just send it. They had some Grimbees, but they didn't use those Grimbees to identify and isolate any member. I would have loved to see Unks maybe make an audible and isolate one of the two members that are by themselves. There's the Goyo in Dirt by himself completely, and then there's the player in Blue that was by himself. But instead, they actually found the strong point of the defense, which was that main push in Church, and they just tried to ram their head into that. But that wall was reinforced. Not like actually reinforced. I mean, it was actually reinforced, but like, you know, it was reinforced by guns. This go around, though, hopefully they will find a little bit more space that they actually work with, and as a team, be able to problem solve what Outlast is bringing them a little bit more fast.
Nobody has made their way into the building as of right now. They are aware of a couple of the defenders. There's going to be, of course, Mr. Dexy over by Lounge. He's holding that down the fort with his beautiful castles, but he might just get caught in a bad situation. Nearly does, but won't. Actually, he will.
Oh my God,
they're going to take advantage of that. That castle barricade is now down, and it gives them free range. They know that he was in a bad spot, and he was trying to retreat, trying to come back as well, trying to double check. It didn't work out in his favor, and not only did Dexy die, but Butcher also died as well. That's going to leave two less players on the side of Outlast Black. The Unks with that two-man advantage hopefully will be able to execute a little bit better now that they have a little more control, a little more leeway.
Yeah, that leeway is going to be huge. It allows Unks to be able to play a lot more space, as you said, and also set up Cali to be in a great mailbox position and hopefully find some picks, as Outlast Black is now a little desperate to make some heroics happen. They do still have some F-Nots to play off of, but as the drones start to swarm through construction, the Unks are going to be finding a lot of information. They still have 3 more drones to play with. One of those going to be spotting out Rage Monster once again. You know, a little more confirmation towards the Fenrir, who is going to fall back all the way to Jim. Raze, though, is playing first floor, so they do need to be aware of that late round. Nitro pre-placed on the default. But as Ions is exploring towards Logi and the rest of the attack is towards Highway, these players are going to be completely pinched. Well, bullets are spraying as Raze finds dead. 3v3 now. That is that one player towards Logi, but Bless finds his Rage Monster playing bathroom and finds Jorkorki with his pants down, and he flicks down to main stairs and finds Bless as well. A fast 3K for the Grim player of Unks, and they completely take over Bedroom Gym. OUTLAST Black sent packing. Bianca, are you there? Help me out here, man. Okay. Alright, guys, it's T-Ven's Yap session again. Unks doing a great job of taking up a lot of space, but instead of just sitting there with that space, they actually made some proactivity happen. No, Bianca, I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Are you? Is it just me?
What happened? Can you
There you
hear
go.
me?
Oh my god.
I don't know what
scared.
happened. I don't know what happened. Why is everything messing up tonight? Why is everything messing? Oh my god, I feel sorry. I literally like took the reins and then I was like, wait, he just like.
Dude, you probably had
I'm sure
like monumental play-by-play too. Like I'm sure that
No,
was like
I
historic.
literally, bro, it was so perfect. Like it was so
felt it.
you literally did it. Felt that 4 scrolls away, man. The aura. Oh my god. Hopefully we'll have another nice round this time. Now that you can actually hear me, I couldn't. Because I was very much talking. I was talking actually quite loud. Anyways, 4-4. Very nice. The Unks equalizing score. We'll see if, or who, not if, but who will end up taking the lead yet again on this round. As it's been quite a bit of a tit for tat. You know, one round wins, or one team wins, and the other team wins the next round, and then the opposite team wins the next round, and then the opposite team wins the next round. It's a very back and forth type of game. A great game, almost like a game of ping pong. We might just see an interaction. Very close. This is going to be Mr. Bless over. Never mind, not close at all. Because everybody else is going to be on that second floor. Now half a minute into the round, and Unks taking the space. Nothing much else right now.
Yeah, Unks did actually a really great job last round of just taking up the space that OUTLAST Black has been giving them for free. And to be honest, it wasn't just last round that they did that, it's been every single attacking round. They've done a great job of using their drone phase, not phone phase, to identify the gaps and see where OUTLAST Black is really putting their pawns. And they just take up the space completely. All that neutral space, it's theirs. And they do a great job of capitalizing on as well, especially last round. So we're going to be seeing them once again just continue to drone out and find that neutral space. But with the logic bomb going out, Bless might just have a freebie here. Knows that someone is nearby. Oh my god.
I was gonna say he was solo pushing, and that might not be too good. But well, he wasn't actually solo pushing. He was like Ions was also with him, but Ions was not with him at the right time, and so now it's gonna cost them 1 life on their team. Now Unks with a man disadvantage, not looking too good. But hey, we saw them come back from man disadvantages in the previous map. We'll see if they're gonna be able to do it this map. This map doesn't seem like they're well, they are playing great, but OUTLAST Black just seem to be really taking the reins on this one, especially considering their map pick. I like what I'm seeing from them. A lot more courageous and a lot more cohesive than last map, that's for sure. I'm also sure they're aware that there is going to be somebody in Logi just holding on. 2 people actually in Logi and Jorkoku on the side of OUTLAST Black.
Once again, OUTLAST Black, just not a lot of space to play with. Dexy, though, playing bottom red. Could be the spoiler that they tried to find last go. Ray still has access to a couple F-Knots to play around as well, but I think they're pretty aware of this main player, as Dead does have that crosshair towards it. And so it's just the main player, now to his knees, and Braze swing out from Logi, finding 1. It's effectively a 2v1, and Rage Monster has to retake from construction. He needs to find the back of the Blackbeard, but it's actually Blackbeard hopping in from Logi saying, "Good morning, hello, I'm Blackbeard and I'm here to take you down." Ions with the iron sights and finding a great attacking round for the Unks.
Ions with the switch will take him down. The Unks have the lead for the round. If they do end up winning this, I'm sure everybody knows. But it'll be match point. OUTLAST Black, mind you, they're already down 1 map, as the Unks did win Chalet quite fashionably. So OUTLAST Black have no room for error at all. They have to play these next actually 3 rounds, basically flawlessly, unless they want to go OT. I don't think anybody wants to go OT. And I'm sure Outlast Black don't want to either. I'm sure that they're going to want to win these 3 rounds, and they're going to want to win them fast, because that would call for a map 3. As for the Unks, at the very least, they have the luxury of losing this map and not, I mean, you don't want to, but at the very least, if they do, it's not necessarily game over. Outlast Black have a little bit more of pressure on their backs, a little more weight they're going to have to carry. So we'll see how this round will go up for them, as looks like we're going to be going all the way down to the basement for them. No Mira, though. I like Mira on this site down, but hey, some teams don't always factor her in, and that's completely fine. Instead of Solus, perhaps for some sort of late game, or maybe just a little bit of roam. We'll see.
Yeah, I think the reason that they swapped off the Mira this go around was just the fact that last time that they played Mira on basement, it got nullified really fast. Ashe used her breaching charges almost immediately into the round to shut down the Church Mira, which was really the only useful Mira in that whole round. We want to remind ourselves what happened in that round as well. The Unks found a great job of just immediately pushing into the building 30 seconds in, and then they just didn't know what to do from there. Outlast Black, though, showing off a completely completely different defensive line here, as they are exploring on the second floor. This is not something they did previously. They were only in the basement. They were all turtled down. I don't think the Unks are aware that Rage Monster and Dexy are going to be a spoiler for them, and Braze as well. They could even do a direct hit if they really want to. Zalera's finding a can opener onto the kitchen hatch, and they could flood. It's just Butcher and Jorgorku near the site. They would have to fight through those fenders, the Goyos, as well as, you know, the Legions, but I think it might be a play if they decide to go for it.
Yeah, if the boys on Outlast Black don't start to make their way through, it could be a little bit bad unless, you know, the boys on Outlast Black are able to defend out the site. But till then, it seems like it's going to be 3. As Mr. Rage Monster has made his way back down. 3 people are in the basement, but there are still 2 people up on the top floor. This could be crazy for a late game flank. Zolaris, however, is going to find Mr. Rage Monster. A minute 20 remaining. Still a decent amount of time for the boys on the Unks to play with. And as for Outlast Black, a lot of time isn't so good for them. They don't want all that time. They want it to slowly dwindle out. And seems like players are just going to be taken out. Those are the 2 roamers. So now it's going to be left up to Mr. Brace, who actually was roaming previously. Now he's come back down, dropped Oil in a 1v3. Very winnable, though. Still, a 1v3 is not impossible. Hey, even a 1v5 isn't impossible if you're really that good. But long range, he does have a C4. He is going to chuck it. Is it going to take him out? Unfortunately, it will not. The swing will come out. He's going to take out 1, but fortunately, he's not going to be doing too much. His teammate going to help him out with that. And a great round for Outlast Black. Tit for tat. Or not, sorry, not Outlast Black, my bad, for the Unks. And that's going to put them at match point. Now Outlast Black really have no margin for error.
Just a great execute from Unks. Like, they identified the fact that there were roamers in the second floor, but they also identified that those roamers weren't doing anything on the second floor. They were more of a red herring, if anything. And so as those second floor players were wasting their time up there, and we see in the replays, all the gunfights were happening in the first floor. At the same time that the attackers were setting up their vertical spots and their vertical positions, they were also catching out the defenders as they're rotating and taking those gunfights. It wasn't the defenders had the default shots, the default head holes or floor holes to shoot through and wait for the attackers to go into their crosshair. It was actually the attackers lulling them down the stairs into a trap that they set themselves. Really great job from the Unks, and then once it came down to it, it was just an easy 4v2 flood into the basement. They had all the space, and they were also catching the defenders while they were all not in a great position. And then, you know, we saw the Unks just take over from there. Bomb plant from the Grim, almost stopped from the Nitro. You know, he pulled his pants back up and sprinted across the quad box, which looked really silly in my opinion, and the Unks got a free win.
Little silly Billy. Little silly Billy. That's what I call my cat sometimes, little silly Billy. Anyways, we'll see. Outlast Black are gonna have to yeah, because my cat's a little bit more lore. My cat's name is Bolo, and so sometimes I call him Billy.
Like
you know, it's cuter.
Did you name the cat after like Bolo, like Bolo?
Yes.
Bolo?
Yes. And then I have
You're
my
king
other
for
cat.
that.
I have my other cat named after Jinxie I didn't want to be like a Jinxie D rider. This is 4 years ago, 4 years ago. I named him G-Speen to sound like Jinxie, but not
Oh.
exactly. So there's a little bit more lore. I'm a little silly Billy for that. But anyways, moving forward, a minute into the round, and not too much has happened. Dead also. He does have the Monty. He's gonna finally make his way in through garage. He's gonna be solo dolo. There's gonna be somebody a little bit behind him, but he's gonna have a little bit of pressure from, of course, from
Oh
OUTLAST Black
my god.
themselves. Mr. Matt, though, to take out Dexy. Unfortunate.
What?
And kills are coming from either side of 4v3 Rafters. It's gonna be Mr. Rage Monster. He's gonna have to be careful because, hey, this Monty's gonna make his way in one way or another. Not only that, but he's gonna have the support coming in from Bless as well. And so we'll see they're going to be able to flush him out. It seems like these nomad charges are already going to do a little bit of damage, but these farts are also doing a little bit of damage from Mr. Smoke Canisters, along with that barbed wire. You know, one time I saw it was a 2v1 and the barbed wire on those raptor stairs ended up killing the 2 attackers. So regardless, not looking good for OUTLAST Black. It's going to be a 2v4. They're very aware of where Rage is, and unfortunately, he's just in a really bad spot to just get pinched, and honestly, not a lot of room to move. So with that, the Unks close it out 2-0. This map, though, at the very least, was a lot better representation of OUTLAST Black.
7-4 victory.
I feel like
just that
Chalet
last round
did
just felt
not
really
do them
easy from the
justice.
Unks.
This map,
A great
despite them
double
losing,
shield
they
play,
played it a lot
Ions,
more
and the
cohesive
Monty. Oh,
and a lot better.
I'm sorry. You cut out again. I cut you off. I'm so sorry.
Me?
Yeah, I cut.
Oh my goodness, dude. They're taxing my Wi-Fi here in Toronto, bro. It's ridiculous.
Dude, they really are messing you up in the 6, bro. What is going on?
They got me. It's the tariffs, dude. It's the tariffs that got me. Trump, please. Please let me have my Wi-Fi. No disconnection, no disruption. Please, I beg you.
Well, you know, you might be getting disconnected, but OUTLAST Black is completely disconnected from the server as they have now lost the series, like you said, 2-0. Easy clubhouse from the Unks, a great showing from them. Like I said, their attacks have been really vicious. They have really creative attacks, and they've been able to identify a lot of holes in every defense that OUTLAST Black was showcasing, and I think that that's going to be a strength for the Unks to be carrying through the rest of the group stage and even into the playoffs if they do make it that far through the group stage. Now, OUTLAST Black, I mean, Bianca, it's pretty obvious. They've got a lot of flaws that they have to take care of, and they really need to step it up for the latter half of the group stage if they want to make a run for the playoffs.
The main flaw would be on Chalet. They played Clubhouse, despite, like I said, losing. They played it much better. And Unks still kind of showing that they are slightly better mechanically, slightly better fundamentally. But I feel like we shouldn't, well, not that we really are, but don't count OUTLAST Black out just yet. There's a lot to improve on, of course, from both sides. And I think that Chalet was just maybe a one-off map that wasn't, you know, it just shouldn't have happened. I think that they played a lot better on Clubhouse, so I will give credit where credit is due. Was much better than the performance that they had on Chalet. It's just unfortunate that they lost Chalet, had to go down that map, and then end up not prevailing and kind of moving forward on Clubhouse. Then again, they also did get sweeped on Chalet, so I'm sure that that doesn't, you know, leave your mental too stable after that. So coming back from that, playing it out like they did, I think they did okay.
All right. If you think that they did okay, I think that they did okay. But I definitely know that the Unks did absolutely phenomenal.
Much
and we're
better.
gonna see them continue to tear through the group stage, hopefully, as we continue the TPL XGS finale group stage. But that is it. That is going to be it for us today in the group stage, and that's going to be it for the rest of the week. Tune in next week for another 4 BO3s every day, or not every day, every week until the playoffs. Guys, we'll see you guys very soon.